What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about Riftbound specifically. We need to have a chat about Riftbound and how difficult it's going to be to pre-order. You see, yesterday Riftbound sent out this tweet over on their official Twitter. Pre-orders are live over on Riot.com. Go and pre-order now. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say for a lot of people, this should not have necessarily been your first port of call. I'm not saying don't pre-order from the Riftbound website. I'm saying that for a lot of people, especially if you've been paying attention, there have been other ways to pre-order. But that's not for everybody. Not everyone has those opportunities. So it went up on the Riftbound website and, well, the predictable happened. There was a follow-up tweet that went out shortly thereafter. Hey everyone, we're seeing overwhelming demand for pre-orders. Orders are processing and we're working to resolve issues so players can continue to pre-order. Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Like, I've been covering Riftbound since the day it was initially revealed. Since we knew it was coming, I've been telling you about it. We've been making videos about Riftbound since it was called Project K and it wasn't actually called Riftbound. That's how hyped I am about Riftbound. I am not the only one that is this level of hype for Riftbound. Very hyped game. I know a bunch of you watching have had a chance to play it at this point and realised how great it is. The art, the mechanics, this game could be huge, and deservedly so. The game is awesome. So this was always going to happen. And then, of course, we get the inevitable picture tweet, which we all knew was coming because this is always coming. Hey, Riftbounders. It's nice that we have a term for that now. We're humbled by the support and enthusiasm for Riftbound Origins so far ahead of the English release. Bearing in mind it's not out till October, that's 2 months away. Due to the overwhelming demand for our pre-orders, the store experienced extremely heavy traffic, which resulted in loading or checkout errors for many of you. The team is looking into potential solutions to make future pre-order experiences smoother. We're also keeping a close eye on market demand for Riftbound, and we'll be working towards increasing supply to ensure that players have reasonable access to the product. Please don't hesitate to share your feedback with us, as we are always looking to improve your experience with Riftbound. This was always going to happen. This happens every time the official store of any card game does pre-orders for set 1 when it's super hyped. It happened for the first chapter with Disney Lorcana when that went up on the Disney website, as an example. And it's gonna happen in future card games. This is the way things go. One thing I think we need to give the Riftbound team real credit for here is the fact that they were clearly communicating. Sending out that they're live, sending out that there are issues, sending out that it's sold out and we're sorry. And this was always going to happen, let's be clear. Cannot stress this enough. This was inevitable. This was always going to be the result. There was never any real doubt here. This was going to be the conclusion. It was going to sell out. It was going to be a bit messy because the website doesn't get this much traffic ever. And then it did. And this happened. And as I keep telling you, it was inevitable. But there's a couple reasons for hope in that last statement I read you. Looking for potential solutions to make future pre-order experiences smoother. Now, they might be talking about set 2, set 3, set 4 and all of that, but there is at least some hope there that there's going to be more for Origins. We are also keeping a close eye on market demand for Riftbound, and we'll be working towards increasing supply to ensure players have reasonable access to the product. They are looking to see how much it sells, and here's the thing. There's going to be a bunch of people that look at this and they say, you knew this was coming. Take this tweet. I'm not going to say who it was from, but this kind of sums up everything I say about TCGs, and it shows, and it's fine. It's understandable why people believe this, but this is the real misconception with new TCGs. You contradict yourself in the statement due to overwhelming demand and store experience traffic. We're also keeping a close eye on market demand for Riftbound. There is demand! Print this set into the ground. A new TCG's launch is always crucial for its trajectory. That statement is true, but not in the way that they think that statement is true. Because let's go back. What happened recently? Well, when Disney Lorcana launched the first chapter, sold out everywhere, people were furious it wasn't printed more. When One Piece launched with Romance Dawn, it sold out everywhere and everyone was furious that it wasn't printed more. When Star Wars Unlimited launched with Spark of the Rebellion, it sold out everywhere and people were furious that it wasn't printed more. When Digimon launched with Booster 1.0, it sold out instantly and everyone was furious it wasn't printed more. When Dragon Ball Fusion World launched with Awaken Pulse, it sold out everywhere and everyone was furious they didn't print more. Now, one of two things is happening here. Either every single card game company is making exactly the same mistake, even though they've seen every other card game company do this. They are all incompetent, none of them have any idea what they're doing, and they're all repeating the same mistake, or this is actually the way you launch new TCGs. And the answer is B, and the reason is cash flow. Cash flow is the amount of money you have available in the business to spend on a day-to-day basis. Doesn't matter how much profit you're making, you need to have money available on a day-to-day basis to pay your bills, to pay the factory, to buy materials, to pay your electric bill, etc. And here's the thing about launching a new TCG. It is literally impossible to know what the demand is going to be. You cannot. Okay? So if we accept the fact that it is impossible to know the exact demand, and to be clear, it is impossible to know the exact demand. If we accept that, then one of two things will happen. You either underprint the set or you overprint the set. Now, if you underprint the set, what's the downside? You annoy people, you lose some potential customers who go elsewhere. That's not ideal. You don't want to lose customers at the start of your game, but also, bearing in mind, if you underprint, then you've printed an amount you're happy with. If you're not happy with the amount, it never even goes to the printers. So if you underprint, you printed an amount you're happy with, it sells out, you make the money you're expecting to make, you lose a few potential customers, but you've made a bunch of money, you have a bunch of money, and you can use that to move forward and grow the game, try and get those customers back. If you overprint, you run out of money and the game dies instantly. And that's not an exaggeration. If you overprint, you have a bunch of money tied up in unsold stock. That stock does not sell. You can't use that money because it's tied up in unsold stock. You can't pay your bills and your game dies. So if you underprint, you make a bunch of money and lose potential customers. If you overprint, the game dies instantly. Now imagine you're launching a new card game. Are you going to err towards underprinting or overprinting? Well, look at Digimon. Look at One Piece. Look at Fusion World. Look at Lorcana. Look at Star Wars Unlimited. Look at Riftbound. Every single card game company makes the same decision. And you've got to bear in mind that when we say underprint here, we are not talking about printing a tiny amount. We are talking about making sensible projections based on the hype and leaning slightly to the lower end rather than the higher end. It is not, we've only printed 10 boxes in your face. It is, we are printing a huge amount. It just so happens that demand is higher. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to reprint. And the initial print for set 2 is going to be higher than the initial set for print 1. Because putting up the pre-orders gives you information. The more times they put these sets up for pre-order, the more information they get until they get to the point where things are fine. Because you know what? Every card game I've just mentioned in this video went through the stage of, we're never going to have enough stock, it's going to be terrible. Look at the new Star Wars set, Legends of the Force. Yeah, that's pretty readily available, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty readily available. Spark of Rebellion might have sold out super quickly. Legends of the Force, yeah, that set's fine. By the time One Piece got to OP06, I mean, OP06 is very readily available. So we see sets that are constantly on sale because they're able to print enough and then print a little bit extra, kind of just in case. They've got the cash flow sorted, they know what the demand is, things are getting easier. Every card game I'm mentioning has basically fixed it. Go and have a look at Reign of Jafar for Disney Lorcana. Go and remember how hard it was to go and buy the first chapter on release and then go and have a look at Reign of Jafar. It's really not difficult to pick up Reign of Jafar packs because Disney Lorcana now have a huge amount of information and they can use that information to decide how much they actually need to print. Yes, I know it's frustrating when a new card game's coming out and you can't get stock. You guys know at this point, I think I might be the biggest TCG nerd there is. So you'd better believe I could not buy as much first chapter Lorcana as I wanted on release. I couldn't buy as much Digimon 1.0 when it came out as I wanted. I got one box of Fusion World when I really wanted 2 or 3. But you know what I did with Riftbound Origins? Like 3 months ago, I went to a game store near me and put my name down for a couple of boxes. Because this was inevitable, because this always happens. In the UK, I have been checking this pretty regularly, and ordering online in the UK has been very easy for months now. Like, genuinely at this point, if you're in the UK, if you haven't got your pre-order in, there's not much of an excuse. Right now, I can go onto Unicorn Cards and get a pre-order in for RRP. I can go onto Origin-Gaming, and there's only 2 left in stock, but I can actually get a pre-order in right now for below retail. In the UK, now I cannot speak for other countries and territories, I'm not there, but in the UK, it has been readily available to order online for weeks and weeks and weeks, and as we get to release, I'm going to see people in the UK telling me it's impossible to order online, and my answer to people in the UK is, well, it's been there for weeks, what have you been doing? Speak to your local game store, because as I always tell you, make friends with your local game store, and then when things are hard to get, they will hook you up. But the other thing to remember is, and I'm going to get people in the comments telling me I'm dumb for this, but I said it for Digimon, I said it for Lorcana, I said it for Star Wars, I said it for One Piece, I say it for every game, and I'm always right. There will come a point where Riftbound have all the data they need, they can print enough, and it's actually pretty straightforward to pick up packs. But it was always going to be difficult on release. And I'm telling you right now, the next big hyped card game, whatever it might be, this is going to happen. And as I've explained in a fair bit of detail, it is the right decision. Because if you accidentally overprint, you run out of cash, you can't pay your bills, and your game dies immediately. And I don't know about you guys, but when there's a game I'm super hyped for, I would much rather have it a little bit awkward to find on release than dying after the first couple of sets. So there we go, there's Riftbound Origins. I sincerely hope everybody watching this video has got their pre-orders in. And if you haven't in the UK, they're still available online. What are you waiting for? But really, go to your local game store. Ask them to hook you up. But I want to know what you think about all of this, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Riftbound and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.